Good.
Good evening and welcome to episode 8 of Get It Forward with Mr. Chris Hilton, the Frickley legend.
Is that, are you saying that? Or has he said that?
Yeah,
Here's some money.
Here's some money.
So man, nice to have you on, Chris. Nice to have you on.
Thanks for being here.
As we always start, mate, obviously you've watched a few of these podcasts and you know, get as much info out of you as possible, stories, how it started, where you've played, managers you've played under, and obviously a special one with yourself. We've had a few on now that's obviously gone and done it in a managerial capacity as well, so obviously we'll save a bit of time at the end for you to reflect on them times, because you've had some good times obviously in your managerial career as well, but just you start us off, mate, in terms of where it started for you, the love of the game, the love of football, and how you went on to make the appearances you did at non-league.
First started off with, you'll know, Oil and Falcons at Barnsley. I played for the rivals West End Wanderers, which my dad was involved with.
Not Barnsley West End, were it a different sort?
It became Barnsley West End, then it became Barnsley something, because Barnsley took over and changed colours and then it ceased to exist, so they did what they normally do, where Falcons have kept their own identity. So yeah, started there. Never left there, played from West End all the way through. In fact, there were me and Lee Stratford we played a couple of years above ourselves and then dropped down, so known for ages. Then went to Barnsley Boys, won English schools, which was the biggest competition you can win. They were 16, so we won that.
We were final that?
Final first leg at Oakwell, obviously, and then second one at Goodison. Won 3-0 at home, lost 1-0 away. But that side, we played for Yorkshire Boys, South Yorkshire Boys, and 5 of us went for England trials. Let's go down to last 80. 2 made full England squad, 1 made England B, and then others, unfortunately, I went one of them. So I went for the trials, we didn't get through. But yeah, that side out of the squad of 16, 12 signed for pro clubs. So you'd like to me, Paul Haywood, Troy Bennett, Chris Jackson, Lee Stratford, Mark Guest. I think we could go 4 left back, and Dean Fearon, Paul Pettinger, goalkeeper. So we had a great
strong squad.
Strong, it was solid as well.
How good's that obviously last game at Goodison as well this last year, and that's where you
never thought that, they've just finished that, to be fair, I didn't really enjoy it that much.
We haven't planned that,
But yeah, that's the football journey, and then I was lucky enough that I got several clubs, as everybody does, and then signed for Rotherham United. Okay. Again, not common knowledge, but I signed a 2-year right to senior pro when I was 16 before I left school. They'd already done a deal with me to go there. Tonks, I played at 16. His dad were running 16s at the time. So Big Tonks, that's another name I've dropped in. If I don't mention you in this podcast, please don't fall out. There's a lot to remember.
There's a lot of names to remember.
So and then at Rotherham, and then did 2 years. Unfortunately, I had injury, broke my leg.
Who would have been in charge at Rotherham at the time?
Phil Ensign when I first went, with John Brecken were there, Billy Russell, then after that there were Archie Gemmell, John McGovern, so you got some, when you were there with John McGovern and Archie Gemmell, everything was just five-a-side.
In gym underneath ground?
In underneath, everywhere, anywhere they could find a five-a-side pitch, they were playing everything.
I'll never forget that gym at Millmore, it
was brilliant, the Millmore,
crazy,
there was a little weight room at the back, we used to play tennis all the time in there. But yeah, they were good times. Unfortunately, I had injury, never really recovered. And I went to non-league, but before I went to non-league, Andy Haywood had just signed from Frickley. He'd been playing up front with a big kid there, and he come and signed. And so as I got released, and as all club, you get released from a club, you wonder what you're going to do next. So Andy had suggested, why give Frickley, I'll give their manager a ring. And that's when I met Billy White. Welcome to non-league. I was my first non-league manager and my first experience in non-league under Billy. So, and the legend that he is and the stories that follow him are true. He is.
And do you think, obviously, you've got obviously had this success with your Barnsley schoolboys and been a successful side. You've obviously had your YTS. Not worked out for you in that sense, and then obviously you're still relatively young at this point. I'm assuming 18.
When I left Rotherham, 19, yeah.
And your first manager's Billy Whitehurst. good grounding for you in terms of how he was as a person? Or,
Definitely an eye-opener. Remember the first training session we went to, so I went down, introduced me, he stood there waiting, welcome Hilton, this, that, over. We're not training today. Okay, right, what we're doing, because you can remember
did you come in training gear?
Everyone ready to go, and everyone were there, everyone had turned up in training gear. Do you remember the old, the Frickley ground where the car park is at the front? At the side they used to have a building there which had like a snooker table and where it got knocked down to make the car park. He says, we're all going over there for a drink. So all lads were in the training gear, we all went in, when Billy says you're going for a drink, you're going for a drink. So I said, I'm driving, I'll have a pop. This, no, you'll have a beer, won't you? I'm going, well, no, I'm driving, I'll have a pop. But you don't have a beer, you're definitely not playing Saturday. That was my welcome to non-league.
Well, that's class, isn't it?
This one Thursday, yeah.
Thursday, yeah.
So I had a beer.
Yeah.
Sneaked off.
And how
played Saturday.
And that was like mentality of him, he just...
No training session, straight in Saturday and play. There you go.
Wanted that banter as well with lads flying and stuff.
His training sessions, he trained exactly as he used to play professionally. Didn't matter if it was own players, swinging elbows, throwing you around. I've seen him while he's been managing walk onto the pitch and go and argue with one of the home supporters because he's getting somebody in his team stick. With a pint in his hand probably, and a fag, as he used to do, but yeah.
And he retired at this point himself?
Yeah. So he played a lot of time with Andy Haywood, and obviously did a massive for Andy, 12 Andy get through. By the way, Andy was class, great finisher. Yeah. Or brace, we used to call him, so he scored in twos. If you got one, you know you're going to get another one.
Really class player and a chick, that. Yeah, very good.
But no, he were, we were playing away at Ida, I remember with Billy, and we got there, and the kit being packed, and there weren't enough black shorts. He's going, oh, there's not enough kit. Anyway, so one of the lads, I think it was Wells, he played up front for us at the time. It was Wells. He'd seen he got black boxer shorts on, so we made him play in his black boxer shorts, so we didn't have to borrow a kit.
Do you know, man? I'll be honest with you, my black boxer shorts are probably bagger than some kits nowadays. I'd be better playing in boxer.
Yeah, but the ones coming off, let's take the shorts off and give them to them. What's going on? We're a professional team here. What's going on here? Yeah. Anyway, we're 5-0 down.
And we were this high.
Yeah, either way, we're getting an hiding where we've dropped it off. We're 5-0 down. I can remember it as clear as anything. Billy on the sideline. Boys, whatever you do, don't let them get 6. Just shout at the top of his voice, and we were all like, oh God, here we go. So anyway, it finished. I think we should lose 6-0. So we're all going in the dressing room, as you do. And you know for a fact, you're thinking as you sat around, make sure there's no bags in any areas. He come in, he volleyed this bag. Because it's the only person I've ever seen kick a wall in a dugout with a wall shake. Honestly, and he kicked this big bag, I can't remember what's on it, like flying past and smacked against the wall, like that. And he just went, what is that word? You're the worst bunch of players I have ever managed or ever set eyes on in my life. And we were, oh God, I'm not arguing, just get your head down, we'll get through it. He went, but I do like you, so let's go for a pint. That was it. Didn't say anything, and everyone was like,
and like collectively, wouldn't chuck anybody under the bus individually, you're all having it.
So you're all having it, yeah. Oh yeah, he didn't single you out as one off, but yeah, but he did have.
Nobody ever had to go back? No, I know.
I won't be alive.
No, the legend is, yeah, you know, like heat at moment.
Oh no.
You've all been there, haven't you, when you bit your tongue and then realised who you're back.
I think at 6-0,
I've been at pre-seasons, he's turned up and he's been on a 4-day bender, he'd not been home from when he'd gone out on a Thursday night and this was Tuesday. So, do you know one of them where he'd just end up, he'd go out for a drink and end up in Sunderland somewhere, but you know, you didn't argue with Billy.
So who you debut against then? So you gone for obviously had a game of snooker and a beer. You wanted an orangina, didn't you? But you had to have a beer.
I have got no idea. No. I'm nearly 50 now.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of games in between.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of Frickley games in between, which we'll come on to.
Yeah, a lot of Frickley games. I've had some good times at Frickley, like I said. It's a club that at the time we're up and down, whether it were near enough this area's type of toppish team.
Yeah,
definitely.
Apart from obviously Emily were really strong, weren't they, for a long period with Glavin and that. But yes, it was a family club and they all stuck together. You played for Frickley and you stuck together as a group.
This is what we've had from previous people on podcasts. There's been obviously a lot of familiarity with Frickley from other players, obviously Wardy, yourself, Lee Morris, what other one, Rich Tracy, have all played there and all spoke fondly of Frickley in terms of the club it were. Family club, you could take your family there, they'd be safe, surroundings were safe, but just the place it were in were a working class environment.
Oh, massive. And when you went there, any team will come to Frickley, they want to play at Frickley. Not at all. Your fans were, the fan base there are behind you 100%. And that's, to be honest, it could be brutal to the away teams. And you kind of felt when you were playing at home, especially midweek, you were already 1-0 up before you'd even kicked off.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we didn't have any seasons while I were there that we were chasing playoffs, or we were always bottom half of the table. We did win Sheffield Senior Cup while we were there. We beat Emily 3-0 in the final, so which were good. And we got to the first round of FA Cup as well.
I think people are looking at when they play at Frickley. Because I used to remember obviously coming off there and you used to have the cage tunnel that went under the main stand. You used to get some pelters there, like, because
100%.
people were there. You know, it weren't like, there were no segregation, there were no people not coming towards that. You could feel the breath like when they were having
You used to walk down,
it was so narrow, weren't it?
You couldn't see stands on the other side because we were just people.
Yeah. But obviously now they've got new facility at bottom end and people
A bit
can...
soft now,
a bit soft
now, before it were intimidating to walk down that cage. Because the bar used to be underneath standing,
Yes, it did,
that.
But it did used to be an intimidating place. I mean, I probably coming towards where Frickley was sort of coming alongside like Stocksbridge and Sheffield FC and teams like that, people had caught up a little bit or Frickley had dropped off. But even still, when they were getting 300-400, it was an intimidating place to go. It weren't a nice place to play football. Obviously, pitch were always a leveler. And then obviously supporters, like you were saying, I can believe you when you said you were 1-0 up.
And you got some You've got some players who could play on there as well, but you've got some tough players.
Yeah.
Really tough players who were hard as nails. Hancock played there for years, centre midfield. He weren't happy unless he were covered in mud, scrapping with somebody.
We mentioned Kendo a couple of times, Steve Kennedy and people.
Played with Kendo at there and at Belper. I played with Stevie for Frickley, were another one where was solid defender he didn't mess with. Steve Robinson again, he loved to tackle. John Groom in midfield, Groom were class. They were just, before every game started, I just go to him and say, just set us off. 9 times out of 10 it were a yellow card, but it set us off.
Games with Groom at Brodsworth, with Radders.
When you were finishing.
Yeah, well I think we picked him, Frickley picked him up from Brodsworth the first time when we played him in a game. We put 2 teams out and he put the stronger team out in the second half. And when we lost 5 or 6-0 in total, and Groom were on the show. They were absolutely just tackling everything. You know, it's like so. We signed him. I think Believe signed him. Believe what manager at the time.
So your first spell at Frickley. I mean, we're going to come on to how many games you've amassed, so we'll not let that surprise out of the bag just yet. But you've had 2 spells at Frickley. You were saying earlier. Both similar length in terms of seasons, or the one part of your career that were more?
No, similar. I think first one were about 6 years, second one 5. Maybe going in before I called it a day.
And how many managers in your first period then? Your first?
Don't know. I probably had between 8 and 10.
Jesus.
So Billy was the first one we went there.
And the last one being?
Last one I left was Believe.
Right, okay.
Believe, who we had him before and then he left and then he come back, but yeah.
So I think what's even more remarkable for me, I don't know if you agree with this, Smudge, is the fact that, I want to say modern day football, but even at non-league level now, you do get this, the managers will bring a cavalry of new signings.
Yeah.
So the fact that you've stayed at this football club...
And we had that.
Did you?
Every manager come in brought so many players.
This is what I mean, this is why I think it's really remarkable that you've, not that you didn't deserve to stay there, but the fact that you have done.
I'm just looking down the list, so.
Yeah, you've got it here in front, haven't we? Yeah, it's...
The managers on that list aren't all sort of local, are they? You're looking at Steve Richards, all-based.
They were guys, the manager, weren't he? He did really well. We brought him in, he got us in when he took over from when Stuart Barclayford. That's not done a very good job. He brought a lot of Grindford players in, but he brought too many Grindford players in, so he kind of gone from, I'll bring the entire team, which then that will then stepping up 2 or 3 divisions, and it's a big jump. That's the side that lost 12-0 at work, so.
Is it?
Well, we got there, me and Chris Hurst. You remember Chris Hurst, the South African midfielder? His brother was Glenn. So he went. And we weren't even in the squad. He left us out because he said we'd not been performing as senior players. So we were in the stand watching, and Dean Jones were on the bench and we were watching. I'm thinking, oh my word! And they were just scoring. After that game, he got sacked, and me and Chris, who were in the stand, ironically, we took over as caretaker next game and beat Stocksbridge in cup, which was ironic as well. But yeah,
People like Dasfield's coming in then.
Dasfield's come across. Dasfield's a good player. Dasfield's played in front of me. Hard working mouse, yeah. Loved to tackle, but he did everything. I remember we played at Doncaster Rovers. I think Top Gear were there because Clarkson were in, and we're on there, and he'd gone obviously to film it. And we ended up beating them 2-0. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember a kick called Simon Fuller scored 2 midfield, the blonde-haired lad. Chipped him from about 50. If you go on YouTube, you know, he chipped him from about 30-40 yards. Second one, yeah. But yeah, we had probably the best time that we played, or the best squad in there. We had under Ian Thompson had a good side. We had those straight left back, me right back, Dean Jones, Mark Aaron centre half. So you got 4 young lads already there.
4 local lads.
Local lads just come out of league clubs. We've all been at Barnes of Boys and this stuff, and then you work your way through. So we had some good players. Danny Walsh, Mozzer, we've already had in. Mozzer was great. If you'd probably ask him now, I didn't like playing right midfield in front of me because we'd be constantly in his ear. But centre forward wise, score for fun. Score for fun. Leroy James and everyone else was
Leroy's got mentioned a few times, hasn't he?
Great character.
Yeah. So obviously you were saying spent a lot of time. Would it have been in Stick Prem then? Would it ever?
We were in when I first went. It was that before they did the split into Prem. So the clusters. Conference is probably wrong, but a little bit higher than probably Prem in there. Then they split them again into North and South, and then split again, and then Frickley ended up dropping down.
And always struggling in terms of financially, or
financially. I've been there when we've gone 10 weeks. Miles Fork, another one. We've gone 10 weeks without being paid, but we always got the money at the end, and then even sometimes you got your brown envelope got paid, and there'd be some.
Something wrong with it.
Well, there'd be some 20s in there that weren't real. Do you know that type of character running it? It's that way, you have to bang his house and they say, what's going off here and this, that, other. But I'll be honest.
I thought you were going to say like Dumb and Dumber when they
all.
I know you was in it.
No. But the thing I would always say about they always sorted it and everything got sorted. It was whenever one of them were turn a blind eye. Oh no, we can't sort that on. They didn't sort it. But yeah, we went one season. We went with 10 weeks without money. We all stopped and played because that was just how it was. But if you remember back in the day, back in my day, which people can remember that far back, when you signed for a club, you signed a 2-year. So you'd have 1 year, and then the club would have an option on you. It were and so it were a 2-year commitment if the club wanted to keep the 2 year. Not like it is now. You're going to sign them every single season.
You're right, there were always that second year, weren't there? There were always that second year option that were on club's terms.
And you had a good season, you've got no chance of not saying you can go unless someone were offering money. So.
And one of the biggest bugbears I have at the minute is this all dual registration now. You can go and play North East counties, and if you band in North East counties, you can step up to England. If you band out at Northern Prem, you can go and play in, and it just makes a mockery of it. Like I said,
Bands like play for you just get a game on a Saturday night, can't you? It doesn't really matter if you've got a red card or not. It used to be banned from all football, didn't it? But
you can see both. I get what 100%. If you sign with one and you're doing your time. But you can see the clubs are getting them out saying, well, they're not missing 3 weeks and not playing games.
From a club's point of view,
So it's difficult, but it's also there's some rules that need looking at. You should sign for a club, you sign for a club.
So your first period at Frickley then, highlights in that, would that FA Cup run have come in that?
2001 I think it was.
Talk us through that then, talk us through that FA Cup run.
We had the bad, obviously Barraclough when we had the defeat in there, and Steve Richards had come in and he brought a few experiences in what we wanted and steadied the ship for us. We took charge of the game that goes through Stocky, which were FA Cup to set
right,
up.
okay.
Obviously, I'm taking full credit.
Absolutely, it started.
That's where it started. 100%.
At what age there though?
Well, then we took over caretaker for that for a couple of games. Left at 19, probably 25.
That's young, isn't it?
26.
Young. That's right.
They still have been, I think they're still a couple of years older than me, I think they've been
Yeah,
28, something like
yeah.
that.
Still young to say to you, just at Brains for a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
isn't it? You know,
Would you even think twice about that?
Not really, at the
No.
time, no.
just I'll take it.
No, yeah.
Just one old part, we'll see where we go with it.
Yeah, I think so. I think the first taste and the second taste of it, as I said in the second war way, O'Day, me and Robbo are doing it, which were a little bit hard because you've got three people then all trying to do different things, and as you know, we'll probably touch on it later, management, you all need to be doing the same thing, or it just don't work.
Yeah, you don't.
So yeah, probably highlight though. I was fortunate that I was captain to lead us out at Northampton, so
Wow.
I've been captain under, again, fortunate being captain under several managers that I've come in.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so leading the team
What
out,
was that experience like? So what was that like leading up to that game?
coach going down,
Yeah.
big coach, because obviously they pay for coach, so Frickley's
Yeah.
not paying for it, so let's get a big one table.
All different meat before, or get together bit of food or all like that, or
No, just normal,
We're
just
just gonna keep it
you know,
normal.
yeah, just keep it normal, keep in there, you travel down and then you're in there and you know, families down and friends are coming down and we took quite a few coach loads.
That must have been some experience.
A great experience
That
to
must
come
have been
out,
some
and I can't remember how many. I think there were 2,500 there, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, good game. We were 2-0 down at half time, and then just in the it must have been first 5-10 minutes of the second half with the crossbar, put that in 2-1. I'm not saying we'll win it because we won't with the players that they
Who
have.
won it with that?
Pricey.
Or
You remember Pricey used to be at Gainsborough?
first name?
I want to say Richard Price, but I don't think it's Richard.
Steve. Centre half.
No, midfielder. He'll come to me.
Game
Later.
with Richo.
Yeah.
You were at Ossett Town with Richo when
Yeah.
you were involved there.
Good player. Great
Yeah.
player. Loved the card game on back of bus. Yeah.
Loved it.
Without everyone did back then, though, they were constant. But yeah, to lose, even losing by, I think we're 4-0 at the end. Yeah,
Would they be League Two at the time then, or
I think they were League Two, yeah, and doing quite well. But standing over, we got a clap off everybody, including theirs as we walked off. And
you mentioned their front two, yeah,
their front, Gabardini
yeah.
and Forrester were their front two for us going hat-trick there. So, I'll mention it because people have not heard, but the fourth goal went in and Forrester has chipped him from at least 35 yards at least, lobbed it over Wilco's head. Wilco's just stood there and watched it, and he turned around and watched it go in the net, he's turned back around and just started clapping. And then all the Frickley support started clapping, and I'm there at right back going, what are you doing? And he looked at me and he just went, great finish that. Takes some goal to beat me from there. You know what he's like, you know he's doing he's an absolute character, but that's the type of character they had at Frickley, everybody were a character.
And it's like stories like that, I suppose, if you saw each other again, if it first
mention
like
don't say, yeah, he's still clapping, yeah, that'd be the first thing I said to him. Yeah, we had some
beers up somewhere back and a good laugh.
Well, the atmosphere, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be not expected to win it, so Idington, all the clubs made some money out of it, so everybody's happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's not all the time you got to first round at Frickley though, is it?
First round of the FA Cup for me, yeah.
Did you do it again as well?
No, we're not Idington.
I think that's one.
In their history, they've done it. They've done
Yeah.
it before. I think the furthest they've been is the third round, which were 83, 84, something like that. But I think that's the side. Back in them days, they were top of the whole league, or what it's some sort of. They were top of the. They had players like Gary Atto just coming in, who Barnsley had offered to sign, and he turned them down and stopping at Frickley. So, you know, because they were sponsored, the pit were putting the money in, and you'd work for the pit, and you'd get a really good wage for the pit, and then you'd play on there, and the ones who played would get better shifts and looked after and extra bonuses and stuff, you know, that type of thing. But he went. Like I say, I'd say Gary Atto's probably one of the best non-league players who's not been pro or been at a professional club I've played with. Class.
I'm a bit jealous about this cup run because I look back and I think, we should have done that. We should have just got to one of them first rounds, just because of it. Yeah. You know, like when you think about non-league and I watch it, you watch it year in, year out, and you see these not, and obviously we're all rooting for them, aren't we? Because we all love to be there, won't we? And,
Massive, it's the same when I watched Emily get to the third round, and they've got Willie, Miles, Ford, they've got Bambrook, they've got all them, and you're like going, what it lays at centre half, what it went. And I'm thinking, I wish I were in that squad.
Could you imagine it? Could you imagine travelling down to Upton Park, play that game,
And gave a good account of themselves as well.
Didn't they just?
Yeah.
Didn't they just?
He had a good
I
time.
know.
Very good team.
Going on, like I said, first time I went to Buxton, our cup side, I played for Brodie, preliminary round with something like Bedlington and got hammered. But they got to fourth qualifying round
Yeah.
and drew Burton. We got done 6-0.
Yeah.
And you got Nigel Clough as a player manager, Andy Sintons, you got Checkles, players like that.
Yeah.
In end, I think it was 6-0 at end, but then Burton drew Torquay away, which has been an unbelievable occasion for Buxton to have took, because then they took lots as well, wouldn't they? For that round to get into that.
Well, like that one that Hilton just mentioned with Emily, obviously they drew
West Ham in
they drew Rotherham though, didn't they, in early rounds and
Yeah.
beat
Beat
Rotherham.
Yeah.
That's a great run.
Yeah.
Good squad, good
Yeah,
set.
I mean that must have
Fantastic.
been some time for you that.
Did you play against them while they were Frickley?
Against Emily?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That same era?
Yeah.
Massive games?
We beat them in Sheffield Senior Cup final.
In the-
3-0.
Oh yeah, the final. Yeah. Where was that at?
Hillsborough.
Hillsborough.
Played well that day.
Yeah.
Andy Hill got to race, this shock. I think Dwayne Beckett, I think, I'm not 100% sure now, but I think he did, but he was a good midfielder as well.
Was there a good crowd there that game as well?
They were a decent crowd, yeah, not as much.
700-800, something like that.
Easy. Yeah, we're good.
See, they're great games as well, aren't they? When you get to the finals at senior.
They're always good because obviously Miles Falk played for both. He played for Frickley and he played for Emily, so it was the same, weren't it? But in the league, we used to struggle against them. They'd always have the upper hand. But yeah, cup final to beat them is always nice.
You got armband on as well?
I'm sure. Can't remember, to be honest.
If you
My bad, isn't it? I don't think I did. I don't think I had an armband on now. Will have been Haywood, probably Andy Haywood. Or I wonder if Hancock played in that game, so it might be Hancock, because Hancock were captain for years while they were there. Mr. Frickley himself.
They done well to finish the game.
I'll be honest.
Did he say finished it?
I've seen him sometimes and I'm saying, what are you doing? They've got like a strip of bandage and tying it around his groin and pulling it in. I went, what's wrong with him? Groin hurts. Why are you doing that? Getting support. Don't worry, off you went.
We've got 90 minutes.
Madman. He weren't happy unless he was covered in mud and there was some sort of some blood on him. The same with Grooming. I remember Grooming. We play away when we played Grooming. It was somewhere away like Marine or somewhere like that. And he had an absolute battle with two of their lads in there. And we'd got blood coming down here and he got this. And the other two lads looked like they'd been in a boxing ring with him and that. And he come off and went, great game that. Oh, I wish you were like that every week. I'm thinking, that's not for me.
Is Groom the one when they're away at Stafford and it kicks off? Is he Groom the one who puts that tackle when Judge is scrapping?
I don't know if would he have still been there then with Dodge and Carl Rose would have been manager.
No, I don't think he was there. I think he finished.
Yeah. I just remember that tackle and
it kicked off proper, didn't it?
and Groomy.
Yeah.
They put a couple of them in when I've seen him.
I don't think he was there.
We played. We played 2 games on the bounce where we were down to 9 men. And one of them we had Marina, we won.
Yeah.
I think Moz got sent off and someone else. And because we played at Marine, small tight ground with all houses.
Houses on one side, all the way down one side, wasn't it?
Changing rooms were outside behind one at net, so we were defending that net.
Right.
We were down to 9 men.
Got a decent stand behind.
I think I went to centre half. And he's in there, and Moz and others have been sent off. We're in crowd then behind that net shouting and grooming. Grooming's getting ball and Robbo, and they're just absolutely getting and just smashing it as far as they can. And as they're smashing it, shout, have it! That's all they're doing. Marina getting madder and madder how it's going off, and they just get, have it! I thought, we ended up winning 3-2. Yeah, there were 2 games on the bounce, but we were down to 9 men. But they stuck together. I mean, Tick got in the first game. Tick got sent off every week.
Tick's a good lad. Number 1 hour, I think he came and played some of the league games.
Chase chickens for everything. Never slept, just loads of pro plus, that were him off.
We were good though, eh? We were decent.
Good player,
decent lad.
Run for a brick wall for you.
So I think
on Ticker,
yeah.
I think he'd been an unbelievable left winger because of how fast he worked, but he just wants to play up front.
Yeah.
And just another one in turn and just clocks him and
Not me.
Not me.
It weren't me.
100% it's you, Tick. He used to run like that, didn't he?
Yeah, because he played at Bridge with us, and you know about Jake, I picked him up from farm once or twice, I had to go down this, 2 mile down this track. I think, where is it, this place? And he said, I'm here. You could smell it.
Yeah.
but you couldn't find it. It was one of them places, and I just
Proper character.
great character, great lad.
Yeah.
We got him and Wayne Harrop together at one
Oh,
point.
yeah. We're both them at Frickley. Wayne played at, Harrop played at Ensworth as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lads at Fleetwood now, aren't
Oh, is it?
they?
So it says here then you went to
So I left Frickley.
Oh, so you then gone Belper, did you?
No, I went up to, so
Or went to Stockey first?
when I left Frickley, because obviously that contract's what you signed with for 2 years. I signed the 1 year, but I got the chairman to sign this for me that I can leave if I want to leave, because I was going to leave then, but decided to stay over here. And I was going to Gainsborough. But because it took that long to come round, by the time I went training with Gainsborough, they'd already got a full squad. And it was kind of like, I thought, I'm not fitting here, Gaffer's not really taking much notice. So I ended up in Stocksbridge. Went to Stocksbridge for a year with Arnie.
Yeah. Nick on, yeah.
Played with Birds, Wayne Biggins were there, and a few others. Did I play with Wardy there? Might be where I played with Wardy, or I played with Wardy at Belper. Tom Jones were there.
Were it?
I'll tell you where at centre half, who always makes me laugh with Brownie. Strawberry Bomb Brownie, centre half.
What's his first name?
I bumped into him, down? No, David, no. I bumped into him in town about 4 months ago, and I'd not seen him for 10, 15 years or whatever, and as soon as I walked around the corner, Hilton! You know, it's like, he always used to argue with ref, and he says, he always used to say, you're only booking me because you think I'm ginger, and I'm not. I'm probably not. And I used to always go, he is ginger, ref, he needs booking. And I used to say, booking ref, because he needs booking for you. And it honestly thought, have you got some 10 motion on, because it's -4, you know, it's like.
Would they have been Northern Counties then, or would they have been in that Division 1 Unibond when you joined Stockey?
Unibond,
Would they? Yeah.
Division 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So we had I only had the 1 season with them. Arnie left after the season. He'd just done 10 years, I think, longest serving Stocksbridge manager. I think he was 10 years. A lot of time for me, great guy.
Yeah.
Bert's took over, and then I left and went to Belper. Belper paid a small fee for me because Bethel won't let me go for anything as Bethel does. If you all know him, he's a businessman. Make sure he got his VAT on top of it.
Absolutely.
And I went to Belper to play for Gary Marrow.
Yeah, he must have had a good side down there.
We just missed out on playoffs, I think, either by point or goal difference. I think it was goal difference missed out. First half of the season we were there, I always just joke, the most expensive goalkeeper warmer up. Because I didn't realise at the time, I were in and out with a local lad. And it brought an influx down, obviously Dean Jones. But that's the first place I played with Brickup, Stocksbridge Gaffer. He were down, Wardy were there, Kendo were there, Lee Stratford. So you can go through the team that have gone down. There were Sixers from Barnsley travelling down because Ogley were there. Ogley were there, obviously taken down with his dad and stuff. So, and I went in and out. I couldn't understand why I were in and out. Why they brought me down from Stocksbridge here in and out. Anyway, it became apparent later on when I left, as they do. You don't know what managers and stipulations that under what they've got. But the way you were told by the board, you brought a lot of players in who were out of Belper. We've got a local lad here who's right back who's playing a lot. You need to be playing him, which I didn't realise. But the second half of the season, I was unlucky. Strider got injured, I think he was. And I ended up playing left wing back, which I'd done a full season at left back at Stocksbridge. I'd done a full season at Frickley left back. And I was flying to the point where I was keeping Strat out of the team at left back when I was right back, and that's no easy thing because Strat's a decent player.
Were you decent with your left foot then, or were you running around it and kicking it around?
No, I could use it. Don't get me wrong, I went as good as I went right foot, but I'd use it, but I won't beat him diagonals. Well, I would, but big crowd finders here of that. Can I have all that, please?
Because obviously I knew you were right back, but I have definitely seen you play left back a few times.
Left back, we went for a season where we played 3 at back. I played the sweeper out of the 3, like 2 around with Mark and just fill holes. I used to enjoy that role, to be fair, a good role. Easy role as well, if you understood it well. But
as long as them 2 mark.
But my main position were up down as a wing back. Never used to stop.
Missed out by a point then?
I think I'm sure it was goal difference. I don't even think it were a point. We were that close, and then after that, we started the next season, and again the same thing kind of were happening. And I just went, I said to Gary, I'm off. I need to go. And I took a couple of months I'm sure I didn't play for them for 6 or 8 weeks. I got Chef Club constantly on and other teams asking, but I kind of, I don't know if I fell out it or just wanted a break from him for I'd had enough. And then eventually I signed for Dave McCarthy,
I was just about to say about Dave McCarthy.
and Wally were there as well.
Yeah.
And Jenks were physio, used to physio for Jags, so we'll get on to Jags after and in there. But and I'll be honest, I thoroughly enjoyed my time at Chef Club.
Yeah,
thoroughly enjoyed
he
it.
tried to sign me a couple of times. He always says to me, because obviously he's done really well. He's at Sheffield United married. He's commercial side operation.
We're operations manager, yeah.
And he always says like, try to sign you loads of times. He did. He used to ring me and say, come and sign. And you know, look, we're training. I think they used to train. They don't think they used to train up at ground, did they?
No, but they did at pitches as it is now. It's not that good.
Train at Aurora or something.
Aurora, they used to on a 3G pitch. Used to train, yeah.
You don't have to travel far from Rome for training and stuff like that. But
Great bloke.
yeah. Oh yeah, dead sound. Yeah,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, loved it.
Did you?
Absolutely loved my time there. The money were decent as well for what you were getting there, but then you'd always have some quirk, you know, I'll give a bonus £5 at the point. Not just to win a point, like a draw or a fiver, brilliant, or 15 for a win. And then he'd add something else and then you wager 1 week, it wouldn't be right. And it's not right, I don't know, I've overspent this, well, we'll just leave it. I'll make it up to you later on. And then you get it back, but you'd always get it, but it was cracking blow. And the squad we had were really good. Our right back, Craig Marsh, Tom Jones, centre half, left back, Mark Bin, I'm just thinking Ryan O'Correll, Miller, Park, Carrington, Ryan.
Dolls playing?
Dolls come later on. Dolls come just as I was leaving. But I was Rotherham with Dolls, so he were a year above me, so he were first year pro. He turned first year pro. Paul Hurst were there, I was obviously next, so he was left back, so he was like second year white test as I was first. He were head boy. We're back there. Chris Wilder were there while I were at Rotherham, Sean Gorton and stuff. But yeah, but that Sheffield club where Neil Cluxton played when I first went, who was at Chesterfield. Vill come and did a little bit, yeah. Played a season with Vill at Jags. Come and play a little bit, yeah. Trying to think who came up front. Cheatham. Rob Ward.
Ward is a good lad.
Holmes were class as a midfielder. He was unbelievable. So yeah, you could go through there. I've probably
got some good. You probably missed a few, haven't you?
I've missed loads. If you looked at
Matt Rooney, is he there by that time, or did he come after?
No, later on.
Yeah, I think he was probably a similar time to when I was at Stockbridge. So you're looking at details, and it might have been probably 2 or 3 years later, maybe.
It were a prop. That Sheffield side were a proper. They could play football, but if you wanted to mix it, they were high class men.
Yeah.
They were all experienced.
Were Miles there for a bit?
What for? He come down and play for Sheffield Club,
yeah.
Yeah. Later on towards he were in as I left. Well, then the centenary when they were doing it when they played Inter Milan, I think it was.
Yes.
I'd just left because I wasn't getting in. Because I'd played. We won 3 Sheffield Cups while we were there. I've not played any at finals because we got in one where I were away on holiday. Second one kicked on holiday, and I played every single game and every round up to them. And then third one. But when I were available, played in, we got there, our unused sub, and it was like 20 minutes to go, and I got family, and they said, oh, we're not with Macca, get us on Macca, because we were winning game, get us on Macca, you're going to get me on, and he didn't get me on. He always says to this day now, my only regret is I didn't put you on. Club captain, so Tom Jones had gone to lift the trophies, I lifted Tom being, Tom is a really nice kid, and I lifted it with him, he says, come and lift this with me, because we played every game up to this point, so. Which were nice way to finish, but then he started bringing in, obviously Gav Smiths were coming in, and I played with them, moved right midfield in front of Gav, who were right back, but he scored loads of goals from right back, Gav. Then Dolby had come in, and then other players were coming in. And Cotnell played with Jags for years for Cotnell, and never ever got booked on a Sunday. I've never seen him play on a Saturday and not get booked. 4-10-12. It was just, I think that was Sam Pickering, Jags manager at the time, just had that influence on him. But then that's when I left. I left there and I went back to Frickley. I went up the division, so I couldn't get in that team. I went back up the division.
How did that come about, that move?
Gary Marrow were at Frickley, so he'd had me at Belper. Mark Hogley had obviously contacted me and just said, what's happening?
And Alan, his dad.
And Alan, his dad, well, yeah, he got one call, he always followed up with Alan, another call, weren't he? He never got one with Alan.
Rich Tracy's, what it now?
Rich Tracy mentioned it.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
Wasn't Gilbert there at the time as well? Physio,
Mick Gilbert. Brilliant first time with Mick Gilbert, and he used to say that they was coming out, have you got ibuprofen tablets, I need them, because he used to be smarties out. He says, don't chew them, just swallow them straight away. And we'd never actually give them what they wanted, they were just taking sweets.
He was a great guy, mate. What a guy.
Great ball.
What a guy.
There's been some characters there. There were Becky with physio there. Obviously she got all these eat stones out and suction pads and that. Lads have been, you know, they're like, can't believe for walking and go, what's off here? Get out for training now.
At the really under that stair.
On there we've got suction pads on and stuff. And you're thinking, when I first went there, obviously the big bath were in there. And I've been in there sometimes. The heating doesn't work, so they had one of them industrial. Do you know what you eat? Air balloons up or whatever, so by the time we're going to have to turn that, we're all getting gas.
Yeah.
Here's a kite.
So when you went back to Frickley for a second time,
Yep, the Gary.
you would have been,
I think management left after I'd only been there a game or two.
would you have been early 30s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think I will.
Or a bit later?
No, I think it would have been, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'd have
30,
been younger, I'd have been
31,
30, yeah,
yeah.
something like that, yeah.
So obviously you're well experienced at this point at that level of football. That's a strange move, isn't it? Like if you've gone like a step up, have you? Like at this
Yeah, gone up in leagues, and
Yeah.
I'll be honest, they're a little bit. Have you still got what it is? Because you've
Yeah.
been playing lower down and doing this and over. Again, I was welcomed by supporters, were great, and it was nice to see everybody. And they couldn't do enough, so yeah.
And a few familiar faces from your time at Belper as well. So obviously Gaz had probably brought in you likes of Wardy and
There were a few there, which was,
Strats
yeah.
had come with him back to Frickley.
Yeah, well, Strats followed him everywhere.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
no, there were
Yeah.
a lot of faces that I knew, so they were just sliding into it.
I did that second spell go then at Frickley.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're coming towards the end of playing at that level. I think once I'd done a couple of seasons, you could tell, and had an illness and stuff, and you don't tell when you're playing Stocksbridge and chasing Jamie Vardy like that. But I can always remember. I always remember.
Not chased him about, but you played against him a few
Played
times.
a few times, yeah. I always remember the last. I've been hospital with stomach problem for the week of. I think it was Friday. I come out on the Saturday. Played on the Saturday anyway. Instead of not being early. Well, the bank holiday Monday games, you know, so that weekend. And I played on Saturday. It took me up after 60 minutes because I kind of not. I'd run out of steam for another Monday to come. Well, me had gone right. I've missed that week, so now I'll play Sunday to get another 40, 50 minutes in. So I'm going to be right for Monday. I thought, let's do that. So I did that. Got to Monday, playing Stocksbridge away, and chasing Jamie Vardy around. We set 2 up. We're 2-0 down at half time. And I remember coming off after 60 minutes into a bank holiday Monday, and as I come off, I said to Bill, I said, that's me done. He was like, what do you mean? I said, legs have gone. I can't catch him. My legs have gone, there's no left in me, I'm finished. I realised I was going to go on and play for him. Could have played for another 2 or 3 years.
So like, obviously at that point in time, Gaz was a big manager at Stocky, wasn't he?
Yeah.
When Bill were in charge. I mean, it's like Bill, we've talked about Billy a couple of times. What he's going on to do with his management career, has been phenomenal, hasn't it?
The one thing that Billy had, and when he come in from there, with me and Dean Jones were a little bit standoff at first, kind of stand back and watch how they do things and stuff, but for motivation and getting into you and that, and he had Bobby with him, Bobby was more tactical, and he'd do motivation side of it, and he got everybody believing that you could go and do it, and you were together, and you'd never turn around the players, he'd bring players in left, right and centre, but as long as you were doing what you're supposed to be doing and giving the full amount and not holding back, then you were great.
Yeah. It's like we said, a couple of said like football might not be prettiest. We know.
Yeah, well.
But they were very much a get it forward man and.
Oh, he was very direct at times and played to his strengths, which has worked in his because he had a fantastic career.
Unbelievable.
I think they've put a thing up the other day, didn't they, Alfred?
Did they?
300 games, I think he's done it all.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Obviously, that's such
He's won that FA trophy,
yeah.
which we beat him the year after in their own backyard, but we'll mention that later. That was nice to have a drink with him on that day.
But that way you were Stocky.
Yeah. But no, he was a good manager. Good man. I won't say tactician. It's probably changed now because his tactics were roughly the same. He's probably had to adapt, but Bobby were helping with that side of it. But yeah, to motivate you, you were doing everything for him. But yeah. Then I dropped down to Woodborough. I come out of the game for a bit after Stocksbridge. I thought that's me done, and I got a call from Norse. I was up manager. gone from Billion now, I'm going into that league. I've got Norbs as gaffer and Marshy, and they were down there, and he said, "Will you come down and play?" I said, "Don't come down and play." He said, "Will you come down with a bit of coaching then, help me out, or whatever." So yeah, I went down. I think I coached first week. I was playing the week after. So
you play a few games, I think.
yeah, not a lot though. Not a lot. We just sort of season out this war towards back end of the season, and then Norbs left. Can't remember where he went. And me and Ian Shirt got manager's job. Shirt's been around 3 years.
Just before we go on to your management, because obviously there'll be a lot interested in that, especially obviously Stocksbridge supporters, Musgrave supporters. Thought success that you had at both them clubs that were not just on a plate for you. A lot of hard work went into both them clubs to make them as successful as you did. But just finishing with your playing career, how many games were it for Frickley? Because we talked off air, but in this day and age nowadays, this is probably unheard of. There's not many that will get recognition for how many games that you've played. Frickley supporters.
Played a lot, but I just looked on their Wikipedia page. I'm not even down as a player.
For Frickley.
Yeah, shocking.
That's disappointing.
So Frickley, if you're watching, can you sort
Can
it,
you
please?
update that, because he is in fact.
I am at the current way the records stand. I'll be the highest appearance.
Which is how many?
426, and out of that was 26 as sub.
Okay. That's which is in itself unbelievable.
Some achievements.
So 400 starts.
400 starts. So the records, I think there's Mark Hancock and Gary Atto will probably have got a couple of seasons missing, so I would have thought both of them might be able to overtake me, but definitely Atto.
How many goals?
4.
You're happy with them 4 though, aren't you?
I'll be honest, all 4 were good.
Were they?
Yeah. I always joke, I average a goal every 100 games. Well, volleys, there's some good volleys in there, and there were one at the most memorable one will be Barrow at home, second to the last game of the season.
Yeah.
We need to win both games to stop up.
And this is the one where Grant Holt were playing for Barrow, is it?
Grant Holt for Barrow, yeah. We were 2-2 at the time, 5 minutes to go. My dad were watching with my mum, and there's an overload, it's gone my left hand side, and I'm right wing back, and I'm flying up, and there's an overload, and my dad's saying, "There's someone's free, it's free, give it him," and he squared it over, and it's me, and my dad said, he's turning to my mum going, "Oh Christ, it's our Chris." I thought, brilliant. But it's come where I don't know why, sometimes you just get in that moment, you just do things, and it's going to the top right hand corner, and we won 3-2, run behind net, and
uphill or downhill?
we were going uphill.
That sounds right then.
Yeah.
Right inside, so we won 3-2, and then we went and won last game 1-0 at Lancaster away. Chris Hurst got the winner there, head a back stick, and as he were heading it, I were exactly at the side of him, jumping at the same time. So I must have obviously got giddy.
Yeah.
He had some leap on him as well.
Oh, it's a dead ball.
I know you mentioned it was like you were struggling with staving off relegation. Any relegations on TV in that time at Frickley?
Never gone down.
No.
Don't do relegations.
No. Lucky. Yeah. That's some going.
Yeah.
That's some going, and we mentioned earlier off air the number of managers that you've played under at Frickley, which is again something that's unheard of, because there have been somewhere in that they might have brought a right back, left back in, and you might have been out on your ear, but actually to play the amount of games that you have under various managers.
Some do. I just think sometimes you just have to knuckle down and do what you need to do to make sure you place it in that side. There's too many. Before we touch on management side, there's too many that expect to be playing, and if they're not playing, you tell them why, and they don't accept it because you're wrong, and then they just jump ship instead of saying, "Hold on, this guy's been around a bit and he knows what he's talking about. What's he done? Then let's take it on board." And you're probably going to stay there at the end of the season, but you're going to roll your sleeves up and do it, and let's say.
And especially when you've had them disappointments as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're talking from experience, aren't you? You're telling these young lads that they're not playing for this reason. We've all been there and not played for that reason, haven't we, at times, and it is what it is. It's disappointing, and it's like we always said to players, channel your disappointment into proving me wrong when you get on pitch and stuff.
And I always use as an example before you went to management, he's playing for Oil and Town Jags, who are best team in this area.
Probably would have been Elderone in.
Well, he used from Meadowhall League, which had your Chris Wilder were a manager in that league at one point.
Jags with Elderone in in
Oh,
North East
well, the
counties.
players
wasn't
are- it's the honest, there's somebody say you'd have 25, 26 players turn up every week. You can
Yeah.
only pick 16.
Yeah,
The others would start, watch the game and spend 2 hours after the game with everybody else, then
Yeah.
turn up week after.
yeah,
Even just going back to when I had a season with Jags and Steve Morphy in there, Daz Utley, Russ Green, centre halves,
Kennedy at centre half as well.
Kennedy,
Tom Moore used to
Tom
play.
Moore played,
Tom Jones played for us as well.
John Sunderland, who
Yeah.
never really played non-league, but were an unbelievable player and would probably walk into most North East County sides in
yeah,
now.
yeah.
It
Nez,
was just
centre
everything were about it. Sam Pickering, the manager there, who I took a lot from Sam, and he's a great bloke. I went down to. He still goes to the Oiland gym on a Thursday, and the Jags still play. So the older Jags are still there playing five-a-side. And that. It's just Toddy's there, and Nath Jones goes down and joins in, and people like that. But I still, well, we never missed a beat with him as soon as Hills, how are we doing? And I come out feeling like, I'm good, I'm somebody again, and I'm not even playing for him.
Isn't it great? I get you like that though, you just like meeting your old teammates and stuff like that.
He just knew what to say, and he was fair with it as well. If 1 week I'd not been because I'd Frickley got a game on Monday, and I said, look, I can't play Sunday, I've got to have Monday off on this. So I'd turn up the week after, what's up? And he pulled me on and said, oh, you don't mind not playing your sub, you've got your costume. I said, Sam, I've got to be sub. You've got enough players here, and I respect everybody you've got it. But he knew what to say to each individual and how to do it, and that's a massive thing that I picked up off.
And always talk to him.
Yeah.
Didn't hide behind dog texts and stuff
No,
like
hide
that.
behind. He get a bit giddy on the sidelines, and you would have to tell him, just calm down, Sam. Leave us to it. We'll sort it in the time.
I also think, having played for Jags as well, going back to your John Brecky, like saying Rotherham, training on indoor sports centre on a Thursday night. If there were 15 players there, there were 3 teams of 5. First goal winner stops on for an hour.
Yeah.
And it was the most intense hour you'd ever had.
Yeah.
And going back to like when I played, we'd got Ronnie Cameron, Cotnell, Kelsey as a front 3.
Kelsey, the human dart.
That just go try to put each other through a wall.
Yeah.
And
That's fair, yeah.
just nobody wanted to lose.
Any regrets, Hills, from like, it's like regrets is probably not a right word, but any times you wish I had to make that move, or quite content with, like looking back now, because obviously we've had people on this podcast and it's, you just said there, you get back with your Jags mates and you'll talk about old times there, but there's not many times you go through like and think about it, and you'll probably think about it tonight, what's been discussed and that, and have some fond memories obviously of your times at club. I know you speak fondly of Frickley and that, but
Not really.
content with how it went and your non-league journey. And
I'm a believer in, well, you have to take them steps wherever you are to go to find out whether you fit in or whether it's right for you. But you look at them teams there. I've been captain of Frickley, I've been captain of Chef Club. So anyway, where I've really been for a longer spell, I've had armband at some point. So no, not really. I'm quite happy with what I've done, and I've tasted Stocksbridge and played on that pitch much more like a carpet. Leeds Dawson used to look after it when it up there.
absolutely, unbelievable.
Great place. Belper again is another good club, good setup, good pitch, everything about them. So in a way, I've been quite lucky. Yeah, would I have wished to have played for Gaines when I had that opportunity? Definitely. Turned Emily down, Nick with Emily, because I didn't see there was no point me going to Emily because they had Nico at right back, who in my opinion weren't best right backs in the league, so there was no point at the time.
It's strange because like I look at your history in terms of your playing career, and it's not too dissimilar from mine in terms of being like a loyal person in terms of where you've been and stuff like that. And people said to me, do you wish you'd have gone there, do you wish you'd have gone there? And I don't, because I were content where I were and my family were happy watching me where I was playing, and obviously that means a lot, doesn't it?
Played against each other, haven't we?
We have,
Coming up for corners, going, I'm not picking him.
And then he went, you pick him up, Kendall, or you pick him up.
I'll just go and stand on a post.
And I think it speaks volumes about yourself that to be at one club and not see off all their managers because there's different circumstances, some of them come after success, but to still stay in there with so many managers, having, like Brett said, they will affect your people at some point. So that 426, if you'd have 1 or 2 managers, probably it'd have been 450.
It's an unbelievable achievement, mate. I'm like,
Yeah, and I also look at Injury wise as well, I had some periods where we were out for 8 weeks and stuff, so and you're trying to get back.
Touched on injuries.
And there were one season I played half a season at left back for him, and I was injured for that half a season, which supporters don't know, do they? I used to have Frickley. If you ever played it, old Frickley went down the side. They had a group of old supporters, oldish people. I'm old now, so I can't really call them old, can I? And they won't get opposition. They give you it. There were times where I try and clear the ball and kick it to hit them as I'm clearing the ball. They were just constantly on you. But I'll tell you what, you know, when you got to the season after you've done it, and you've been there for a few seasons, and you say, go and do one, but they'd always clap you off at end and say, well done, time.
Yeah.
So you kind of had to earn their respect because they were the hardcore Frickley and whatever. But yeah, like I said, no, I have no regrets, and I've met some really, really good friends and volunteers through football.
I think only thing, and obviously we're going to come on to management, not managed there yet.
No, I've had the opportunity a few times and turned it down.
And we'll just leave a question mark on. Yeah, we'll just leave a question mark on that because it's you never say never.
Went down to Hilton out, do a bit of coaching, ended up playing towards back end of the season. They come and ask, obviously, if I'd like to, if Ian Shirt were there, he got a lot of players in. He got under 19s have been very successful under Ian. So do you want to help us? I said, we'll do it as a joint, and then I really started to learn off Ian because he'd been managing 19s ago. So it was a learning curve for me because it weren't meant like that. It meant that we can't finish any lower than bottom, but we've got to try and improve if we can. Yeah. So halfway through that, the first season with Ian, I think Ian's, I don't know if he'd realised or he just decided that I could do it on my own. I kind of picked it, he taught me what he could teach me on there, and I went with it. I was lucky that I'd got a core of players that he brought up through 19s league our side. Dean Shirt, Ryan Lake come later on and played. I picked Fabs up who followed me everywhere I went. And then I got Broadbent who had been released from Sheffield Wednesday. And then you got in later on as you went down, I had a Scott Turner, we'd had a bit of Frickley way, Chris White, Adam Pogmore, so you started doing Danny Corley, where a young lad who, to be fair, could have done, I think he should have played a lot higher, but it's not worked out. And Matty Roberts, so I was starting to get him. And Sean Anderside coming at physio to help me out then, which were great because we brought their lad down, a great right back as well in there, and so yeah, it was good, and we were there for 4 seasons. Didn't pay a penny. Any season did not pay a penny. I had to get a sponsor, which was Pods' dad, senior, and he put £40 in a week for me so we could train. That was it.
Yeah. People not believe you, will they?
No, they don't. I remember playing against Marshall, not Marshall's, Marshall, who was a bit stable manager, it's right, isn't it? Brett, and playing him, and then we just lost out, and they say, there's no way you're paying it. We weren't, we never paid a penny. I got likes of Whitey, I got Kelsey come down and play games for me, Ryan Lay come in, I even got Dean Jones to play a game, I even got Groomy to play a couple of games for me and stuff. It was just a matter of, will you help me out, and on times when we needed to do it, but we've got a core there that kind of, you know what I mean?
And we're improving year after year, bump or a gradual.
I'd say roughly we were always finished between, I think the first season we might have been 15, 16, and then we were 8 and 10 all the time around that area. The best part of it is we went a full season where we didn't lose our Element League.
Yeah.
Remember,
One full season, which
massive achievement.
It's great achievement. We lost one game at home in the cup, which were against a Parkgate side, which I've got Toddy playing for me. Todd Jordan as well played, but he went to play for Parkgate, and Parkgate got a great team. Manager was Shelley. Doug Shelley, what manager?
Cushion that went in.
Yeah, Cushion that in the front.
Good Cotton.
Ash Woolsful were there and stuff.
Yeah, they're the good side. I had Cush's brother when I first went over. Character.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so for me, Worsborough, I always see it as doing my apprenticeship. I've done the art graphs. I've done 4 years where I'm not getting paid a penny. I'm putting the time in. I'm constantly on the phone. So the one period we had where we lost 5 on the bounce or 4 on the bounce and not scored a goal. And I actually went to the John Cooper, what and Charlie Wyatt, what secretary for 4 years, a great guy. And John, if anyone knows John, he's a massive character anyway. You know, I said to him, if you want to get another manager in, get another manager in, because we've lost 4 or 5 on bounce, we've not scored a goal, I really am sorry, because I understand word like you guys put in and stuff. I always say, you can't swear, you can only F with the tail you've got. That's what he said to me, and that was the chairman, and he just went, conversation over, get on with it. So, and away we went, and we won the next game against, Ian Banks, were a manager in that league at the time, and they come and we beat them 4-0. And we won 8 out of the next 9. It kind of like, I think pressure just lifted and we just relaxed, and then we got going. That's when Craig Elliott were in our league, obviously with Shaw Lane, Ponty to start with, then Shaw Lane. So yeah, I had Gudge playing for me, Craig Gudge here were there as well, another one in.
Ryan Pleasant
Drop
for
in.
a bit or not?
Possible had a spell.
Posy had a spell with me. I'm not sure Pleasant probably did, maybe had a few games with us, yes. I think he did. Again, I apologise for anybody myself, because so many players have had. Oh, it is. Fudge played for me, yeah.
I think we've talked about like.
Let's not start about school,
We've
eh?
talked
Yeah,
about
school
a lot-
played.
We've talked about a lot of lads, haven't we, like who you've, I wouldn't say been loyal to you, I think both ways. Obviously we'll come into your Stocksbridge time in a minute, like, but you took Wusbrook from like
I took him out where I wanted to do.
next to no, like, and that's with greatest respect to Wusbrook. They might have not continued, Chris.
Well, I think we've always, if you're going to do a job, and especially as a player, but as a manager, is in there, try and leave the place better than when you found it.
Yeah.
And that's the
You've
whole,
said that.
that's
You've
the
said
whole
that before,
idea.
to me, haven't you?
Yeah, that's the whole idea. You go in, and if you come out and you say they were there, and now they're there, or if they're there but the foundations are stable, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
You've done what you were there to do.
How do you find transition? Playing, managing.
I found it alright, to be honest. When I say found it alright, I found it alright me being a manager, the transition of doing things different to what a player does, because you, as a player, you're looking after yourself, you're focusing on yourself, you set yourself. But as if you're a captain as a club, once you've done yourself, then you're looking over players and you know your match winners, and you're going around saying, "Oh, are you up for this?" And you're then focusing on them. As a manager, you're focusing on everything.
I personally think if you've been a captain,
It probably helps.
it helps.
It does help.
I think
It does help. If you're a motivator, and the captain you should be a motivator, it definitely helps you in your coaching side of it and your managing side of it, it definitely does. However, when you're a dominating captain, or a dominant captain, should I say, the decisions you have to make at a managing point of view are so much more tougher.
I would say as a captain, as a player captain, I was never a dominant captain.
No.
I would talk about never a dominant. I weren't you see your midfield players who were winning and tackling and in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
That weren't that. I was more of a talker, captain. I weren't time. But yeah, the decisions you have to make are hard sometimes.
Yeah.
The conversations you have to have are hard.
Yeah.
I always think if you're straight and up front and say, you might not like what I'm going to say, but this is what I'm going to say. Agree with it, don't agree with it. I'm alright with whichever you pick, but this is my decision I've gone with. And then give a reason saying why. This is why I've done it.
Yeah.
Or I don't agree with that, I've changed formation, or so and so wants to run out, I think you're looking tired, or I'm just going for something different because of this. If it works, great. If it don't, come and knock on my door and say that's not worked, has it? You're going to get me back in the team. I'm alright with that, because
I am.
as a manager, you will never get everything right. It's impossible.
No.
You're going to make mistakes, just as players make mistakes. The better managers make less mistakes. Same as the better players, the more consistent. So that's the idea that you've got to try and get into. But I think if you're honest with your player, as honest as you can be, there's still certain things you need to know, and you need to keep to yourself, and you keep in your management group, your WhatsApp group you've got, your conversations you have, you keep that to yourself. But as honest. And another thing that you get with certain managers as well, they'll tell one player or one group of players something and then tell other one something different. They talk.
Of course they do.
It's a bit like players when they come to you and say, "Oh yeah, so-and-so's offering me 50 quid, what are you going to do to match it?" I'm already talking to other manager, aren't I? Because we're good mates. The manager circle are mates, so half of them are saying, "Oh, we're doing this," but they all talk.
Yeah.
Or
just be straight.
the other bit I've noticed is certain player will drop in a message.
Yeah.
And then they'll drop me one. And then, as if trying to find out,
Yeah.
am I starting at weekend?
Yeah.
As if we're not going to have that. So text me, forward it on. It's
it's some players.
It's
I think you don't talk between yourselves.
I know, the thing that you just go home and that's it, you don't see each other
And
until
you
next
know as
game.
well as anybody, your management team, you talk them more than your missus, don't you?
You're constantly on it, yeah. There were many times that I'd be on the phone with Brian late in the morning and I'd be with his missus going, "Hilton again, yeah." And I'd be talking, same with Tomo and Sean with physio, saying that Sean, is he going to be fit? Sean would always say, yeah, it'd be at least 2 weeks. Cost it 7 days then, yeah, and he'll be playing. And I'd have him on bench. He says, "You can't have him on bench, not put him on here." I'm like, "No, I won't put him on." "You ready?" You know what I mean? It's type of, it's what you do all the time. It's part of it. You've got to
Do you think these conversations for you, especially at Woodbury, were more difficult because there were no budget?
No,
Easier.
I'd say easier.
Yeah.
And only because
Did anybody just say,
I know
"Yeah, come in then"?
that group of players, I had one leave because we travelled somewhere and he didn't play, but because you've got the group of players at Woodbury, I'm not saying the group of players I had at Stocksbridge didn't want to be there because they did, because Stocksbridge did pay big money, but we're not paying anything Woodbury there because they've got a group of mates who are there. You set an environment up that they like, you treat everybody the same, probably about one, except one player, which I don't tend to ever do in any as but I did there because Chris White were a match winner. But we got that much character to carry it off that everybody understood and went, it's too good for this league. And then you'd be looking in, just game ball and it'd win you a game out of nothing.
Yeah.
I think like you said, a lot of inexperienced non-league players at that time.
Yeah.
Well, now they know, obviously, but they're not going to question much, I don't think, are they? Because
No, it was just like a genuine question. I just wondered where people's mindset were on that and whether people were going, "I'm not getting paid out here, I'll just go and play others than that."
Well, obviously, yeah, at the time, obviously, right, well, they with Dodo and they were the big team, weren't they? They were flying, and they got the same. I don't know if they were paying or anything, but they got the Bennets and they got the Whites.
They've probably got a better pull on.
Right, Whites. Oh, massively, yeah. They were all the team that you were trying to catch.
did you play at the last home game to keep that 100% record?
No, it was Hallam.
Wow, look at what they've gone and done.
So Hallam was last, and I always remember Julian at centre half.
Lawrence.
Yeah, had a chance as well. I think we drew 2-2 and he had a chance to make it 3-2 on a set piece and he missed it. And I was like, thank God for that, because we weren't coming back because they were going downhill. They were putting some proper pressure on us. So, but yeah.
Good times then there for you, mate, then, weren't they?
There's some fantastic times, like you said. Scully's a character in there, obviously, never a dull moment with Scully. But White, he never a dull moment. You had to have a cup of tea after the game for him ready. You wanted a cup of tea, everyone else was having a pint, he's having a cup of tea. Lee Garside, by example. Fads, he'd had a bad injury under Knobs, he'd not played much under Knobs, and then we got him back playing. I remember playing a few seasons later, I can't remember if we were Stocky where, and Knobs had watched me, so oh my word, Fads is flying. He was solid in the unit. But I was lucky enough that I got Sean in physio, I got Dave Mace come 12, but I got Pods, Adam Pogmo, who run through a brick wall for you up front. For his dad, no, and his dad were behind the scenes helping me with training, and he introduced me to Sean and Dave, so I got that little bit of support. And then I could pull some players in, but no. There were some good times and some bad times, but the only pressure I had was me putting pressure on myself, which I've had everywhere I've been.
Good decision though in end, when Norbs rang you and said, "Come and have a..."
Yeah, he turned out quicker and better. And but to be fair, Norbs has set me off on my managerial career, to be fair to him, so yeah, thanks for that.
It's funny, like, you do find your way, don't you, in certain things, and that was obviously your way. But it went to bigger and better things for you, so how did it come about with Stocksbridge?
Well, obviously, I'd met Bethel before. We're playing with Stocksbridge and had a good rapport with him and chat-wise and this and that, and he'd always sort of keep an eye on you type of thing, you know, he gets somebody in his bonnet. And then I know that they'd been watching some games that we'd had. McCorn had been down and Bethel had been down. I was going to finish after year 3 at Woodbury and said, this is third year I've done type of thing, because normally in a cycle, people don't know out there, they're normally working 3-year cycles as management team where before you're redoing again and rebuilding, unless you're at certain clubs that are having players missing all the time and then you're doing it all the time. But that's normally you're trying to do, you're trying to build for that 3rd year to go and have a push and then you want. So I stopped in it 4th because all lads said they were stopping, and to be fair, a good group of lads. So,
And they did.
And they all stopped, yeah. They didn't move. They all could have moved as soon as So, Stocksbridge. So I'd already finished. I'd already said before Stocksbridge come available. I'd already said this is me done at end of season.
Right?
Yeah. So they know I didn't leave because Stocksbridge were available. I'd already said I'm done.
Yeah.
I'll see what it texted me for. And then come available, and I just got a phone call saying put your CV in, and you'll get an interview. So I put my CV in to have an interview. I went to an interview, got down to 3. There were me, unit centre half.
Yeah.
And as I was pulling into the car park and getting out of my car, Daz Eckworth just had his interview from Emily. I always remember clear as day. Sorry, Daz. As they come in, he just looked at me. Well, if you know you were coming, I want to waste any time. And they got in his car, and then I went and had my interview, and they offered me a job there. And then after I'd had my interview, so everything was.
So we've just signed Jimmy's son.
Oh, yeah.
That was yeah.
Is he as daft as you, man?
No.
That's
He's,
okay.
he's only 16.
Is it?
How were you feeling then when you got offered that?
When I went to Stockett,
Yeah, like, that must have been like kind of, I bet you were buzzing, weren't you? Like, when you...
I was buzzing.
Mm.
Always buzzing, proper nervous because it's a step up.
Mm.
Do I know the players at that league? Got played at that level, so I understand that level. That side of it's not an issue, but do I know the players I can bring in to do it? They've just been relegated. What players have I got left? Which I had 3 players left by the time I got to pre-season. By the time pre-season had done, I'd got 2 left. By the time first month had done, I had 1 left, and then halfway through the second month, I got that one had gone as well. Which Ben Turner left, and great kid Ben Turner, but it just, we were struggling at the time.
And you already primed lads to come?
Because it was that quick from leaving there to that becoming available, I did say to some of the Worsborough lads, I said, look, there's a couple that I want to take anyway. I wanted to come up with, I wanted White to come up, I wanted Garside to come up with because I know I play, but Fads were definitely one that I wanted to. Well, to be fair, Fads no, because I didn't know whether Fads would step up to that level with the pace of it and stuff. And Fads phoned me and said, Hills, I want to get it a go. I went, if you want to get it a go, let's go and get it. And best decision, best phone call he's ever done because Fads from Stocksbridge were fantastic.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't have the core of players that I wanted up there, so we were massive. That's why I got Willie then, we went up with Willie. That was challenging but fun at times. Because I thought, oh, you'll have the network of players to bring in, we can then go and try and it didn't quite work out like that. But so yeah, we're a massive learning curve, and I knew my remit was don't get relegated that season. Steady the ship.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It will, won't it? We're a steady ship.
Yeah, and I knew that the players I got there, I got Nathan Jones, I managed to keep for a little bit, and then we sold him on to Answorth. I brought his brother up. I remember taking his brother off, and his brother was a good player, doing well at Rec, yeah. But I just knew the players, certain players we'd got in there would steady the ship for me.
Yeah.
But they weren't what we needed. We needed if you want to push on, we needed to bring new players in. And there were some players I turned down from Worsborough once to come up. Because I just thought I didn't want to waste their time, so to speak, even though we were hard at the time.
You spent a lot of time with him, I know, Chris, haven't you?
They wanted to get it going. I just went, Pods were one of them. Pods, I ate, scored a couple of goals, players from pre-season. I just didn't want to waste your time because I didn't see you as a starter and anyone travelling around the country, not starting type thing, which we're still good mates now, me and Pods. But yeah, so the first season there were difficult, really difficult, especially lack of players we got available left from the previous, which I get that, they all move on because management's gone and we've all got other offers and stuff like that.
You've also got these then.
Yeah.
Through as well, haven't you, Penistone?
Yeah, Penistone they were strong, weren't they? They were just growing and growing and growing. And,
about budget side of it,
between budget wise, I'd had from year 1 to year 7, I'd say difference between about 200 or 300 quid. There weren't much. There weren't much, and the reason that the last 2 years it went up more is because I paid 2 players more than what I normally would do, but one of them brought the sponsor in. And the sponsor said, I'm coming in to put some money in there, I want these getting paid this. So you're like, fair enough, you're putting all that money in, then I'll pay them with theirs, but they weren't massive, but I tend to...
Because for a side, the step that Stocksbridge are, the budget is, I mean, Rachel's doing an excellent job now.
Minimal.
Chris did.
Bottom 6.
We actually were down.
It's
I mean, the reason why we went down from
yeah.
that Northern Premier League was because of the budget. I mean, we personally put a squad out that were competitive and had some good lads. Like Chris will tell you, when we were in there were, you know, there were Nathan Joins, there were Will Senior playing, who we got from Parkgate, you know, Ringy was still there, myself still playing. We've got Ben Turner, we've got Yanni Lipka playing and stuff like that. They're all decent lads, but just not good enough to stay in that league at the time. The budget just weren't there to just.
And I always think one of the battles that Stocksbridge have is the budget's at league below.
Mm.
You know, we
100%.
It always has been.
If you can get,
Did you feel like that, Chris, when you went? Like,
all the time we were up against it, and
because Aquaforce were obviously coming up as well, weren't
Aquaforce
they?
was coming up, which at Worsborough, when
Ainsworth,
Aquaforce,
yeah.
we did double over Aquaforce with
Yeah.
Worsborough.
Yeah.
Stocksbridge has always been there because of the support they get in. They get the loyal supporters in, but they don't get the crowds that the other ones get. And you're always against it, as you know, because if you get the good players in and you get the gems and stuff, it will go on later on to end towards this team I left with the forwards that they had were unbelievable. But you lose them because clubs come in and offer them double money. You can't compete. You can't say, as me as a manager, I want to keep them, want the best players. But if someone comes in and say you're paying him out £100 a week, and someone comes in and says it's £250 and a signing on, you go in, you've got mortgage to pay, kids and stuff like that. Get yourself off, or you're going up the leagues. It's the ones that drop down the leagues to earn the money, but they'll do it the same for financial reasons. Everyone's financial situation is different. So you've got to understand that as a manager. At times it's frustrating because you want your best players, you want to add to your best players and keep with, but Stocky were.
Did you find it easier to keep players because when you were doing well? Did you have occasional 7 days come in and you were like thinking, I know I'm not paying him nowhere near as much as these are offering, but because we're doing well,
You'll keep some players, yeah, and you'll get, obviously if you're struggling as well, you get obviously the phone calls of winning to chairman, managers saying, are you getting rid of him because we get it. There's certain managers that do that all the time.
they're just.
I'll not name them.
They're just.
There is, it's I have a points where people have asked me, obviously we'd be interested in this, you've still got a manager in your job, and I've said no, not until that job's available, I'll talk to you.
I'll be honest with you, Chris, there were 3 or 4 people coming up to Stocksbridge when Scully were in charge that last season. And you weren't one of them. You were still having a job to do at Worsborough.
I'd still got a job. I did come up and watch though towards the end of the season. I come up and watch one of your games. Can't remember. You were winning with about 10 to go. Lippman scored. I think you lost 2-1 and run out of steam towards the end of the game.
But there were more than one manager that were
constant there.
Yes.
Oh well.
And it's unnerving. It's, you know.
Yeah. Well,
sometimes it don't even have to be that the club have asked them to come. It's just people seeing that a club are not doing well, they're in trouble, and the people just start showing their faces, don't they?
You get there just a pay and you go, oh, right, okay. Well, we're at a loose end today. I've got no game to watch, but come here and watch it. I get that.
Alan Bethel's just stood there, I just went in my park, just 10 minutes away from him.
And have a chat with him.
Yeah.
But it's football, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's football, unfortunately. But you had some great times there, Chris.
Fantastic times. I've got all the time for Stocksbridge, you know that.
Was it 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
Wow.
Again.
And again, I left on my own accord. I weren't pushed or under any pressure. I just had enough.
The change of ownership or chairmanship?
Never changed out. Graham was seamless. Been just as supportive as Alan. I was lucky. Alan backed everything I wanted. Graham, we got to the 3rd season. We got to playoffs, which for me, the only thing I've got away with it. Everyone puts down success as winning something.
Don't they?
100%, and that's the only thing I would say after 11 years of management. I ain't won anything as a manager. So you look at your CV and go, 11 years, done all right. Anybody hasn't won anything, and that's the only thing I look at it. But then the other side is, what are your remits? What are your budget? And what do you class as winning? I class getting in playoffs as winning that league.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you know when you get in there with a budget that is bottom 4, bottom 5, and you get in there, you've got Ruffin and I've got Ruffin and Joe Lunson up top. Do you know what I mean? For the money I'm paying, I've got Adam Inchcliffe will be on one side. I've got Grayson at left back. I've got Josh Mead. I've got in. I've got Fads in. I've got.
What about the centre midfielder who's not done that for us?
I've got a few midfielders, but Harrison. The difference is that certain players I've just mentioned there are match winners for you. They'll go and win a game, and Stizzer were brought back in to score goals for us because we're struggling. So they'll go and win games for you. Harrison won every game the exact same high level. Don't get me wrong, but when we first brought Harrison over from Barnsley, 18 versus 10, so Harrison he's fallen out with football. He's really down in his low and missed that over because he didn't expect to get released and stuff. And we brought him over, and he passed side, and I'm like, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
What are you doing? He said, well, I'm getting passes in because that's what it is. Now I want you to think forward, ask questions, do that. And I remember his first game he played for his league game, he got sent off at home. And we went through, and I wanted to put him on a contract straight away. As soon as I saw him in training, contract, I want him on a contract, and he won't go on a contract now. And there was some at the club who looked at him because they watched him that first season, and he would make mistakes that cost you a goal and stuff. And they go, what is that? So I'm telling you now, and he get him on a contract on there, and eventually got him on. And the last season I think he scored 20 goals from midfield, and we had
one when he scored from halfway line.
Yeah, we had 3 clubs every game watching him, minimum. To the point where you're watching a game in your dugout, and the opposition manager in the dugout, and he's shouting over to his game, going, how many's watching number 8? Because he's just above. Rotherham come to watch him, looked at him, thought, he's not ready. Sheffield United, we told him about him, he didn't quite fit in. He went with Steve Evans, whoever Steve Evans were in charge at the time, went Mansfield.
Potentially, yeah.
He went and did a week's training with them. Tomo had told him, Tomo told him about him, and he said, no, he's not quite there yet. And then Fleetwood took him, and I think Fleetwood played Mansfield, and he run Mansfield to death. And I always remember Tomo phoning him. Just had Steve Evans on phone, he says, you're right, Tomo, I got it wrong, you were ready. So the only kid he'd take corners left and right foot and deliver them exactly the same from each side for you. You'd be like, is it? Do you know when he first went over to take one with his left foot? I thought, is he winding me up this kid or what? Is he on one? And then he delivered it. I went, oh no, to be fair, King was both. But he scored up from halfway line with his left foot.
Yeah, he did.
But to be fair to Harrison, the work that we did, he did the work off the pitch. He were out, he'd go for a 10k run on a Friday night, ready for Saturday, just as a loose mate. He'd be in gym, he'd do his work. And as we always did at Stocking, what we always tried to do was around Stocking, is make an environment so that you're happy, you want to learn, you want to do extra work, you want to do what you've got around for a team.
Common theme here with Fleetwood getting Stocking lads, isn't there?
I know, nothing going on there. So I went to watch him at Doncaster at Harrison. He got man of match and scored winner before obviously he moved on and that. So
where's
nice.
he now?
I think he's at is it Carlisle?
Was it?
Carlisle sent him out. Well, Hurst were manager, weren't he? I think he sent him out somewhere. But yeah,
Carlisle, that's one.
Yeah, I've had some unbelievable players, some really talented. Brody. Litchfield, we brought him, we said we got him to Sheffield United. Tom Osherman played for us at 16 before him Sheffield Wednesday. Lewis Whitton, out of reserves. I sent him out on twice to different non-league clubs lower down. Parkgate, someone else, I didn't play him. Didn't play him.
There's a guy's with him.
And when he left us, he were unbelievable.
None of us is first.
But we found a reason why he's getting into that play. A lot of people don't spend the time, but he struggled mentally with certain things. And once we went into it and we talked to him about it and stuff, then he just exploded. He could go past people for fun.
After I'd finished at Sheffield, at 36, 37 or whatever it was, Billy Fox rang me and says, come to play the rest of the season at Parkgate. And I can remember we were camping away, and he says, oh, I've got Lewis Whitton on loan. Just as a left back, just put it in corner and he'll get it.
Oh, so he'll come from
Yeah, so he came on loan from Stocksbridge, and if somebody had said to me he's playing the guys now and he's done what he's done on that appearance that day, I'd have said no chance.
100%.
Because it just looked like a young lad, rapid, they were wrong, but he was just lost at headlights, and he was just and to come from what he's done to what he's achieving now in the league, he's doing really well.
We had saying with second team, but it's getting the player in, and you could see a talent straight away. But what's holding you back? He's having them conversations with him and find out he's struggled with nerves massively. He don't now.
No.
Now he's give me the ball, I'll have it. But it's getting into somebody, isn't it? But we've had
no people's strengths, and
we've had some great players. Great players.
But a lot of that hinges around lads that have come here. your Garsides, your Fadzes?
Garside come on there, he extended the ship with me and helped me until he got to a point where he decided he had enough. But Fads has been with me all the way through, Captain Stocky all the way through, man mountain is.
And what about your lads who help you with your management team? Your Shawns, and then obviously your Tomos, your Lates.
We brought Tomo, we brought Lates. Lates is league coach at Barnsley now, 16s or 18s, he's 18, so 18 man. Lates is class and coaching wise great. Tomo, I first come across Tomo, we had him.
Talking to himself?
We had him, got him, I can't remember where we got him from, Answorth, or someone he come across anyway, and we had a few games. I remember him scoring away at Anthony, team now, will come to me anyway. And we're away, he went with 50-50 with keeper, and won ball and scored or whatever, and then he ended up going back to Answorth, because Pete had phoned up and asked him to go back, and then he come back, but great kid. Enthusiasm is just unbelievable. Always something's going to happen with Tomo. There's some stories I'll tell you when camera's off with stuff that has gone off that you just think, Tom, what could happen to Tomo? Nobody else, but great, do anything for you. Sean come up from Worsborough with me and followed me through until nearly the end of the day. And to be fair, the day that I left, Sean, ironically, what physio for game, were helping me out. So kind of like we'd start together, finish together, kind of thing. But
I'm often back Tomo because I dropped on him in maybe 12 months since.
He still thinks he can play now, Tomo.
He joined his sport and he started unravelling some stories. And lately, he was just looking up at it.
Yeah.
and he had me for a good hour in shop. And I'm like,
everything
off Tomo, shut him down.
Shut us
down.
Absolutely brilliant, yeah.
Great lad.
Brilliant, but I'm a great believer in, if you're a manager, you've got to have a good staff around you, or a good team around you. As Wardy on his last podcast said, you've got to trust them, but you've all got to be going to the same direction. So before, let's say at Stocky, when in there, we'd always be in canteen or whatever, we'd talk all the way for a week or whatever, and they'd say, right, boom, this is side, I think, how are we going to go? What side would you go? What side would you go? And go there, and we'd see if we'd match the same side off. And I would guarantee 99% we would all be exactly the same, maybe one player be different.
Yeah.
And then we'd all look at each whatever, maybe he's picked him, I picked him. Right, I'm gaffer, we're going to go with this is how we're going to do it, this is player going. They'd both go, yeah, we're on board, let's go. And we'd all sing the same tune, that's it. And if you're all doing the same thing, and you're all in there, then the players all buy into it, and away you go. The last thing you want is somebody who's undermining, or someone who's got a different idea and talking to the centre forward, do this, do that. You've all got to have the same thing. And I was lucky enough that I got a team around me that all did want the same thing, and they were all genuine and you could trust. Because there's plenty in football that you can't trust. Just for everybody out there with volunteers and this, that, they're fantastic, but just beware in football. There's some people out there that are just after themselves, unfortunately.
And a lot of people don't see that.
No. And they don't see the other side as well. You'll be playing, you'll be setting up a team to play against a team that are a bit better team or a budget, and you set up a certain way to get through, but you might be playing 3 players who are not fully fit and this or other. It's tough. You haven't just got to pull resources, you try and pull from reserves. At Stocky sometimes I pull from reserves, and some reserves didn't want to come because they didn't want to travel. They weren't bothered.
I'm not going to Lancaster for 20 minutes.
No, that's right, I'm not going to sit on the bench or whatever.
20 minutes, mate.
No, so and they won't come, they'd stay with there. So you get people saying, well, why aren't you putting reserves and 18s on bench? Why are you only going with 3 subs or 4 subs when you can have 5? And you go, well, they don't want to come. Plus then you've got the other side, sometimes you've only got that amount of subs because you're trying to cut down on budget.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all true.
It's a balancing act at times, yeah. So, but back to it, on Stocksbridge, I'd say, apart from playoffs, against playoffs, we're probably going to first round of trophy twice.
Yeah.
And especially the second time when we beat the olders, North Ferry, Hilton team, we beat him in his own backyard 2-1.
Yeah.
Ruffin got both that day.
Yeah. So they were the holders?
Yeah, we're holders, we beat them at their place. And now we're on Talk Sport, bus up there, Robbie Savage.
Yeah.
Wow. So I think biggest burning question, I know I've asked you personally anyway, because I know you personally and I know we keep in touch and stuff, but
Radio buddies.
why not else yet? So when did you finish with Stocksbridge? 2020? 1920?
3 seasons have I been out?
It might be 2021 maybe, yeah. Why no else yet? 'Cause I'd looked at that and gone, shooing to be back in hot seat somewhere now.
I will.
Opportunities that you've turned down, obviously we've spoke about them.
Brutally honest, there's been 2 or 3 opportunities since I've finished. Nowhere near the amount that I thought I might have. People don't approach me. I've not had that many come to me and say, "Would you be interested in getting back into the game?" I bet that, like I said, 2 or 3. While I was managing it, 2 or 3. But I weren't interested in leaving Stocksbridge because I built a good team several times, but I'd also got the back in the board. I'd also got I was comfortable at Stocksbridge. I enjoyed it. To the point where you got to the end where I thought I would just turn up because I had to turn up and didn't want to let people down, if that makes sense. Rather than having that drive and do more.
Right down to that, playing so many games for
And you know when you burn out, you get to the point where you go,
You know, don't you?
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, no, I've not realised anything that's the one job that I messaged chairman when job come available, they'd already got a manager in saying I'd have been interested in having a chat. But apart from that, I've not really had anything that's said to me, this is a project, this is something that
Tick
get
box
into
that
it.
you want to, yeah.
Plus I've got family stuff and that as well at the moment.
Little one's playing now, isn't he?
Little one's playing, he's doing really well, and he plays Tuesday, trains Tuesday, Wednesday, boxes Thursday, and plays training Saturday, Sunday. So he's on it, and
Not
she's
much
saying,
time in
there's
there,
not,
is there?
well, I think you get to a point where you want to get, look, I've got family support, my wife's always, she's football into it, but she got to the point towards the end where she was checking results to see what had come on, like, you know, type thing, which we get to that point, and it's time to take a break, but I still bump in with, we play Penistone, my kid played Penistone, Trav, his manager there, who was at Manchester United, who was Sheffield United, like, dealt with him all the time at Sheffield United to get players. Coxie was there, so it still messaged Coxie, and there's still clubs that clubs that I still message. But yeah, I've not really had enough of that. That's been me saying, you know, I want to do that.
And not that's come up that you thought, fancy that as well.
Do you think as well, Chris, part of that is, you know, like you said, this strong team around you. Obviously, Rise at Barnsley's under 18s now. Tom Lawson at Answorth.
Sean's retired.
Sean's retired. Yeah.
Probably. I had Sam with me who left at Stocky. He's left Stocky now, he's at Sheffield Wednesday, physio. So yeah. Probably would have to set a new network up and in there, but there's plenty out there.
100%.
You could do that. That side of it's not an issue. You can do that, and if not, you set up what you've got, and then you can improve it as you go along. I just don't have that. Someone asked me, Trav, to be fair, the first question he asked me after we'd finished, kids are playing football, and said to me, "Do you miss it?" And I went, "I miss the banter. I miss improving players and trying to help players develop and move them up the leagues. We look at the amount of players that Stocky have had, and they're now playing higher up the leagues. You know when I left and they had Nodder, Crofty, Lunsden, Scott, Witten. That was his front. I'd left him 6 players that would get him most sides, and it were a matter of rotating and getting him in. And then I'd left him Sam Finlaw in midfield with Goodwin, and then you got Lemo and you got Fads, and then you got, you know what I mean, you can go through in there. So I'd left a decent side. It's not that I'd left that I didn't think that side could compete. But yeah, I don't know. We never say never, but like I said, I think I'm lucky that my football fix has been filled with me and my little lad. And giving some back to family.
Yeah, which brings you, well, I know you've said obviously off air, that brings you a lot of joy as well, seeing your lad doing well,
massive
joy. And seeing him start his journey that, I don't want to say, but you started over 40 years ago, mate.
Cheers for that.
But maybe,
I don't feel old now.
But maybe we'll be sat here again in a couple of years, and maybe you might have a job, and we might be talking about how well you're doing in a role.
We'll see.
Never say never. Some football's an ever changing game, isn't it? And there's opportunities coming and going.
I think if you think you're relevant and you can make a difference on when you are, then you can always step in and do it. Which I've always been, when I've set up coaching, I've always had coaches who come in and I let them do the coaching. I'll step into sessions and do it. But there's no point having a coach if you're going to do the session. The coach will sit beside you. He's there because you trust him to do. You have the conversations before you even get there, saying, "I want to work on this, this, and this." Set the coach up. Let's get on with it and do it and do it. So the management side, it'll never change it. For me, you should run it. In my belief, obviously, is how I run it. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Time will tell. But I've never said no. But
happy as you are at it, definitely.
it has to be the right. It has to be the right thing for me to get my teeth into. I don't want to go anywhere just for the sake of going anyway. I'll come back into it as you can do.
You're not aware of this, but last year we went to Redfern's and we went to tournament in Filey. And outside hour, just dropped on him at shop.
Did I? Yeah.
Randomly, just dropped on him at shop. There on a weekend away, all week away.
They didn't buy me a drink though.
it was
Nothing changed.
They went family, but once he knew I was there on a footballing tournament, the spark in his eye, and I think they were all set for coming and watching that day.
I could have gone away. I would have done numbers, but I'd go watch
Mrs. came
games
back
now.
and it was sort of like,
Yeah, try to get round to it.
We've got this done. We're on beach for a day, but the spark in his eye from
You
the
never-
football.
Listen, that'll never leave you, will it?
I don't know.
If you spark for football and being around it and nowhere to be.
I watch more on the telly now than I've ever watched as in games because I never used to watch any games on TV. I weren't bothered. I didn't know for what I'd done. But yeah, try and get round on league games.
You did, that's obviously we
Tennis,
we had
try and
we
get
had a good
Frickley,
chat. You saw
hockey,
me coming checking me out the other day and steam coming out my
I
ears.
saw you coming off Pete Shecky and I thought, no, so I'll just leave him. If he shakes it anymore, it's going to drop off.
There are times you think, I remember them days, isn't it? But,
Brilliant.
Classmate, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me, appreciate it. Yeah, always good to talk on league.
Yeah,
So, brilliant.